That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 194 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I am your other camp counselor, Magic Johnson.
And we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and bite. But before we get into these stories, we got to catch you up on any of the weird news you may have missed. And, David, do you want to start this off? I'll let you start this off if you'd like.
Oh, damn, I didn't. Yeah, here
okay,
we go.
I
Hold
will
on.
start.
No, I got you.
Literally deer in the headlights over there. Yeah.
Well, what happened, because usually I like to split my screen up, and I'll make my, my Logic Pro very small, so then that still goes, but then I'll have my window open, but I had my recording software in full screen, so I didn't see my articles. But now they're here. They're ready.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, maybe I should open up one that we are both familiar with. So maybe I should start it off because you said...
Yeah, I got an apology to make.
Why?
Is that something different?
Yeah. Do you want to make your apology
I'll make my
first?
apology real quick. Here at Camp Strange, we like to goof, we like to gaff, we like to have fun. When a good conspiracy theory pops up, we got to talk about it. But Kate Middleton, she's not dead.
I'm actually on the right side of history for once. This is great.
That was hey, if I had any idea what was going on, wouldn't have brought it up. Cancer's a bitch. So Kate Middleton is not dead. There's not a clone. There's nothing like that. She announced that she is fighting cancer right now, which myself, like many people, my life has been affected by the nastiness of cancer. So it's a bummer that I don't enjoy getting a laugh out of by any means. So
we're laughing at David, not at cancer.
Exactly. And I just want to backtrack on all the jokes we had last episode about that whole situation.
I mean,
how would I know?
I guess we have a lot of we apologize to the royal family more than anyone else.
I will never apologize to the royal family.
No, we did. Philip, we killed him.
Whatever. I'm over that now. That's funny again.
Anyway, we definitely accuse them all of being half lizard people or full lizard people. So.
At least, yeah.
But she's not in the family. She married in, so she's fine. We like Kate.
She's a sweetheart. Love her.
Sweetheart.
She's my princess of Wales, that's for sure.
But no, that's not exactly what I was going to cover. Another video you sent me this week. I think it was you who sent it to me.
Probably.
California man arrested for allegedly taking leg off person killed by train.
Did the person die that got hit by the train?
I assume.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like a clean, like, this got the leg and the leg went flying.
They were just like chilling legs first on the track and
they made a quick break for it, and in the back of their stride maybe it got taken off. I don't know, man.
Back of the stride.
People get their legs taken off and survive by trains every day.
Well, in this case, this isn't India, so it didn't happen. Because...
Oh, that was in India?
No, I'm just saying in India that I feel like there's a lot of train accidents where sometimes people survive, sometimes they don't survive.
They really like filming their Tic Tacs on the train tracks in India.
It's TikTok is illegal in India.
Well, whatever they're doing their videos for, with slow motion walking down the train tracks with the music playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love the motivational gibberish. You tell me I am not him. And you're like, what?
My life, my rules.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I knew the cadence, the voice, but I didn't know exactly what it was. Yeah, that's my life, my rules. And then there's like a dragon, or like a tiger. No, there's like a helicopter.
An Apache helicopter being taken out by a Bengal tiger.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, but no. So for this one, this took place in Wasco. I don't know where that is. Somewhere in California, probably. I'm gonna say near Bakersfield.
Yeah, I think it is.
where people
sure it
eat
is.
legs regardless. But officials reportedly said that 27-year-old Rosendo Tellez removed evidence from the site after a person was struck and killed by a train, which severed their leg around 8 a.m. Oh, he started eating. That was breakfast. And there's a disturbing video on social media showing a man appearing to hold a severed body part, and he was eating from it before wiping his face and making his way down a sidewalk.
He was smiling too.
He later was seen in the video raising the body part in the air as law enforcement arrived, and he was taken into custody on multiple outstanding warrants and for allegedly taking evidence from the scene. Yeah, that's it. That's what he got in trouble for, taking evidence.
Yeah, they didn't really know how to book that one.
They're like, we don't really have a law about eating a dead person's leg. I mean, you do, but like they're just gonna try to get you on the most common
Diabolical.
one. The easiest one. There's like,
Yeah.
we don't. If we had to try to find the paperwork for cannibalism, we're gonna be here all day. We're just gonna do tampering with evidence.
Make it easy.
But David sent me that video, and it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to see. I even brought it up to a couple people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw that," and I was like, "Oh cool, this is the first time that I'm not the minority." Usually, I'm like, "Anybody see the new Sinaloa video? Anybody see the new Zeta beheading?" Be like, "Oh my god." No, I don't watch those anymore, but I used to. I Reddit sometimes used to like show them to me, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, Reddit's usually pretty good at like not having that stuff on there. Which
They're going public now, so I think they like really made an effort to like clean up the site and like get rid of all the vile shit.
Yeah,
so it's just done really well for my psyche.
Yeah,
that was the first leg video I've seen in years.
Yeah, I haven't seen a good leg video in a hot minute.
But yeah, he was eating that leg for surezies. So that's wild. That's crazy.
Well, my next story here, we're going to go back to the beautiful state of California, where Lego instructs Californian police to stop using Lego heads to mask identities of suspects.
Wait, what? I love how this is also a Lego story.
There you go.
So wait, what's going on?
I guess like the police were using, because there's some new law about not showing people's faces until they're proven guilty. And so they were photoshopping Lego heads over people's faces, and the old Swiss Lego people didn't like that.
I mean, I understand why, but like,
they're gonna go with Minecraft Steve next.
Yeah, I appreciate the flair that they got going on. Was it always the same Lego head?
No, and that's what was fun about it.
Oh man.
Yeah, kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Legos are great. I should buy Legos again. I haven't played with Legos in a really long time.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Always a good time though.
Yeah, I'd love to make a train and then just like run someone over and then eat their Lego leg.
Yes, I was at Barnes and Noble last night. And they've got I know, I was very lost.
Where's your porn section?
Yeah. I was looking for the hentai. And they had a huge Lego selection, and they had a massive kit. They had a massive Queer Eye set that had all the boys on it, and then it was like a big room that had like the little hair salon, the kitchen, like I was like, wow.
Maybe you had to play you had to play Bobby in that scenario because Bobby's the interior decorator, or the architect, whatever you want to call him.
Wasn't Bobby the one that did everybody's job?
I mean, he definitely did the most.
And there's Chimera. Like, what the fuck did he even do? He didn't do anything. He's like the life coach that didn't do jack shit.
He's like, look in that mirror. And he's like, you are you. And someone's like, holy shit, I am.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Queer Eye. There's one night I
sob every time.
I ingested too much marijuana one night around Christmas time.
I don't even know you anymore.
Let me finish my story. And around Christmas time, and I started having a panic attack, and I had to go in the room and put my hand between my knees in a fetal position, and I watched Queer Eye because it made me happy, and it's all positive. It's very good. So I'm a fan.
I don't know who you are anymore.
No. But man, Barnes and Noble is struggling when you go to a bookstore and the only thing you want to talk about is the Legos you saw in there. You're like, they got a pretty good Lego selection. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's why we put it in here.
It was surprising. They had a good Lego selection.
Well, I don't know. It's weird when they have like a Lego set that's not like otherworldly.
Yeah, when it's like based off of like a reality show.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's insane. I'm like castle, race car track, or
the dragon,
or JVN's hair salon. You're like, okay,
yeah,
not that fun. But for everybody has their own Lego world. Every prisoner has their preferred place to hang out. Every prisoner with their Lego head.
Yeah.
But you know what? Good for Lego for putting their Lego leg down on.
Oh yeah.
And standing their ground. I hate to say it, but we're not done with legs.
But you know what's crazy?
What?
You could put Jonathan Van Ness piloting Slave One from Star Wars. You can only do that.
Oh,
isn't that the guy from Queer Eye, the guy with the longer hair?
Yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about. I was like, what do you
can
mean
put him in Boba Fett's ship and fly him around in your Lego kit. You could have him fighting the Hulk.
And it's in the same universe. Is that the biggest? Is Lego the biggest not cinematic? Is Lego the biggest? What would you call it for just like a toy world universe?
Yeah.
Or would Monopoly be the biggest universe?
Honestly, man, I think Fortnite's up there.
But like, Fortnite has characters.
Oh, Funko Pops.
That's a
they
pretty
got
good one too.
They got everything in that.
But Lego has like lands too, not just characters. They built lands,
Yeah, they also had a ginormous wall of Funko Pops in Barnes and Noble.
What?
And my wife, she said, "Stop looking at those funky bops and help me find this book."
Which one were you looking at?
Which one? What?
Which one were you salivating over?
I wasn't even. I was
bop?
just standing next to it. I wasn't even looking at it.
I was standing next to the Funko Pops, and my wife divorced me. No. She's like, no. I know you're gonna grab that Deadpool one. I knew it.
Don't grab that Deadpool funky bop. God damn it.
It's gonna be worth a lot of money one day.
She also calls the TV remote the clicker, so I feel like I married an elderly lady.
You did. You married an elderly man.
Yes. I married my dad.
But speaking of leg, a student, this is a crazy story. A student persuaded by his friend to get his legs amputated for $1.3 million insurance dollars in a $1.3 million insurance scam wound up getting $7,200 that he now has to return.
I saw photos of this.
Oh, I didn't. But
he had his like feet from like the ankle down in dry ice, and he had like zip ties up and down his legs.
Okay, I didn't know about the zip ties, but yeah. So this took place in Taiwan, and this 23-year-old kid, last name Zhang, they didn't give his first name, plunged his feet into a bucket of dry ice for more than 10 hours to get them so badly frostbitten that he would need a double amputation.
Dude, no money's worth that. My God.
A friend from high school, Zhang's friend from high school, his last name's Liao, persuaded him to carry out the insurance scam. And Liao apparently, oh my God, this is like so telling. Liao apparently also suffered losses from trading cryptocurrency.
No.
And he
can't
tricked
trust those guys.
I know. And he tricked Zhang into signing a legal note obligating him to pay about $800,000, investigators said. So he's like manipulating his friend into like paying him money, apparently, like signing a contract that says he owes money. But then their whole plan was on January 26th of 2023, Liao and Zhang rode around Taipei on a motorbike at night, wanting to present the claim that Zhang was afflicted with frostbite while riding the vehicle in the late evening. First off, insurance people were like, it's fucking Taiwan. It's like a tropical country. So, like, first off, it doesn't make sense. The other thing that didn't make sense was they're like, the doctors were like, he doesn't have, like, shoe and sock marks from this. It's, like, completely bare feet. Yeah. Which is like, were you riding your motorcycle barefoot? Actually, that might have been a thing.
Yeah,
I've seen crazier shit. But he took out several expensive policies before he did this, and when he got home, he put his feet in dry ice, and they had, like David said, they had to amputate from like the calf or the ankle down or something like that. Below the calf due to frostbite injuries. And the police were like, what the fuck? Like, all of this isn't making sense. So they go to his house. They find the box of dry ice. And they check, tablets and stuff like that. But he only got paid out $7,200 from one of the claims. And before he could get, like, the rest of the money for, obviously these frostbite injuries and insuring his legs, they found out about it. And so now he has to return the $7,200, and he doesn't have feet anymore. Like, oh my God! Like, I can't think of, like, it's crazy. It's
also crazy that, like, I just saw a photo of it somewhere online. Like, if you're gonna do an insurance scam, like, don't be putting that online, man.
What do you mean?
I'm saying that, like, if you're gonna be doing, like, an insurance scam, you can't leave any trace of anything.
They were posting photos of his feet. He was posting photos of his own feet.
I saw a photo of him sitting in a chair with his feet in that thing.
Oh my God! So they were like documenting the fucking illegal process.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a doctor picture of being like, oh, these are frostbitten feet.
No. I saw a photo of him sitting with his feet in the dry ice and then, like, zip ties around his legs.
Did he take the picture?
No, someone else took the photo.
Yeah, it's fucking Liao who lost a bunch of money in crypto.
Yeah, just Jesus Christ.
He set up a timer. I don't think he had his feet in that dry ice for 10 hours. I don't think he was chancing stepping out of that thing for a moment.
Yeah.
I cannot, like, I can't fathom that. People, like, ask, like, the hypothetical, like, oh, would you lose an arm for, $5 million or whatever? This guy basically tried to put his money where his mouth was, or I should say his feet where the ice were, and he didn't think it all the way through. It's just, I
would rather be penniless living on the streets with both my feet than
yes. I mean, it's
no
like
feet and, like, having money.
It's like the worst case scenario. Now he has no feet, he has no money, probably has to pay a fine, and is probably going to go to prison because I know, like, some of these countries are, like, really strict. They said something about, like, South Korea with fraud is, like, 10-year prison sentence or something like that. So I don't know what's going to happen to this guy, but maybe they'll have, like, some sympathy for him because now he doesn't have feet. But that fucking friend, it was probably, like, if you tricked me into signing a banknote or whatever, or a contract giving you $800,000, I'd just be like, I'm not paying that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, I'll just do, like, a scam for 1.3 mil, and I'll give you the majority of it. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't know. Sometimes I question.
Stupid people, man.
I was gonna say sometimes I question. I feel like I'm dumb, but I feel like I'm a genius sometimes.
Yeah.
Compared to this shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
The guy's like,
not much more to say.
The guy's like, warm it up. I don't want this frozen leg. A lot of leg stories.
Yeah.
You have another leg story for me?
I mean, you could try to connect the dots and make a leg story. Bentley CEO says sales are down because the rich are experience emotional sensitivity due to the cost of living and don't want to flaunt their wealth with a new luxury car.
How much is a Bentley?
Expensive, man.
Is it? I think, like, when I think of expensive car, I think of, like, Rolls Royce. I thought, like, a Bentley was like a Rolls Royce is like what? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah, sure.
And, like, I thought a Bentley was like the same price as like a like Cadillac.
No,
is it not?
I don't think so.
Oh man, I'm so not a car guy. I can't even, like, begin to tell you. When I went and I bought my car, the guy's like, "So, what are you looking for?" And I told him I was like, "Honda Accord baseline model." And the guy's like, "Oh, we have a lot of upgrades." I'm like, "Baseline model." I'm like, I was driving a 2006 Toyota Matrix. Everything in this car is an upgrade. I don't need anything else.
So
Like,
I'm on.
We got heated seats. I'm like, I live in LA, man. Every seat is fucking heated all the time.
I'm on Kelly Blue Book.
Holy shit! I just found the MSRP on Bentleys too. Sorry.
Oh no, then go ahead and do that because I'm looking at like used Bentleys. So
MSRP for a 2024 Bentley Continental GT. I don't know if that's standard or luxury. It's obviously a luxury car, but it's $242,000.
yeah,
almost $243,000. Yeah.
I was gonna say most of these are all over $200,000.
Okay, I know that like Bentley itself, like its craftsmanship and it's like probably a very well built car, but if like I'm getting like a almost $300,000 car, I want it to be like
I never want to
crazy.
fill it up. I want it to always have a full tank.
No, I was gonna say I want it to be crazy looking. I want it to look like a Ferrari. You know what I mean? This Bentley, it's a pretty car, but like it's not that different. Like I said, I'm not a car guy, so I wouldn't notice. But if that thing pulled up on the side of me, I'd be like, "Oh, is that like a new Honda or something?" Like it just doesn't look crazy enough. It looks like a normal fucking car.
Yeah, I also think that like when you're buying a Bentley, like you're not even driving the thing. Like you got a dude driving you places in it, you know?
Yeah, I probably honestly. I mean, maybe that's like your cruising car. Like, oh, I want to like show up to the meeting like in my own car because it's also a power move to drive yourself. It's a power move to have someone drive you in a normally priced car, but it's also a power move to drive yourself in a really expensive car.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, the interior on this fucking Bentley is all red. I cannot even imagine, like, I'd be like, did you get a discount? And they're like, no, I paid more. I'm like, you ever seen like a lime green car and you're like, that guy got like a discount? Mike, I'm not going to say this. Someone I know owns a bright yellow car. And you know, if you like it, that's fine. I'm like a black, white, gray kind of guy, but I was like, oh, like how much did you pay for this? And he's like, well, it's like a collector's thing item, so like I had to pay more for the yellow. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah. And some people like it.
I know I'm being a stickler, but it's not even like I'm being a curmudgeon. I think I'm just naive to it because I was like bright, weird, like eccentric colors are like colors that people don't necessarily want are cheaper. And sometimes, you know, like when they have like an overstock, like we can't sell this car, it's bright pink, and then somebody like,
well, that's because they only make 5,000 of them.
I guess you're right, because no one wants them.
Yeah. Very select people want them.
I guess you're right. You know, I should stop judging. I don't have $300,000. What do I care? hey, what do I give a shit?
You ain't gotta worry about it.
What's that fucking TikTok where it's like, yeah, well, I care. Why do I give a shit? I don't give a shit. That
I don't think I've seen that one.
That hit guy voice. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, damn. But yeah, the rich are very empathetic these days towards us.
Yeah, man, I feel so bad.
Oh man, I feel so bad for the Bentley guys.
Yeah, I hope they survive.
They're like, oh, are we gonna sell these? All you have to sell is one of them, and you're fine.
I'm pretty sure Bentley's the one that has like, you know, like fancy cars. They'll have like the little like trophy on the hood, little emblem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Bentley's the one that like they have like a system that if someone tries to like touch it or grab it, it like shoots into the hood of the car, so no one can like snap it off and take it.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, it has like an anti-theft program on it.
My penis does that.
When anybody tries to touch it, it sucks into your body.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's gonna break.
Yoink!
It's very fragile. Doctor says I suffer from fragile peni. But wait, I think I should just become
FPS.
a fragile penis syndrome. That's pretty good. I think I'm just gonna become a Bentley salesman, and then every single person that walks in, I'm gonna go, "Hey, this is a Bentley. And the guy goes, oh, cool, how much? And I'm going to go $300,000. And he goes, I don't know. And I go, what are you, poor? And then I'm going to watch him panic buy it.
Yeah.
And then I just
him.
made a lot. I'm literally going to corner him. I'm going to be like one of those mating birds that like does this back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, do the arms.
Yeah, the arms.
Maybe like a crab walk. See if you can get a bite out of his ankles first.
Oh, there we go. We made it a leg story.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, it all comes full circle. Should we get into these longer stories you have for you today?
If we must.
Okay, I guess.
Must we? Must
What?
we, Papa? Must we get to the stories?
Gerald, get back in the Bentley before you get sick from the sun's rays. I feel like rich people don't go outside, so that's my impression of a rich person.
No, it's because they built a sun in their house.
Why would I need another son? He's inheriting everything. He's going to run my business. Okay, so, yeah, let's get into these. I'd like to give a disclaimer off the top. I'm covering a somewhat disturbing story, if I had to say so. And there are some graphic descriptions of medical ailments.
Okay.
But you already heard me talk about a guy eating a leg, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. You're still here. Okay, let's get into it. Now, David, when you think of deadliest jobs on planet Earth, what do you think of besides Bentley salesman?
You know what's crazy is I actually read a list about this recently.
Oh, really?
I think isn't farmer number one? I'm not even joking.
I don't know.
I think farming is like in the top of like some of the most dangerous.
I've seen those cranberry commercials. They're just like chilling in like pools.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of shit you can farm, man. I think the idea is you use a lot of machinery, and a lot of times like you're alone too. So like, if something goes wrong, there's no one there.
Okay, that's pretty good. Do you have another one? I'm actually kind of curious on what else is on this list. But
I mean, I can Google it.
dentist, most suicidal.
Yeah. Most dangerous jobs. Roofers.
Okay, you're yeah, okay, fair.
Logging.
Okay, fair. What's the other one? A crab fisherman.
Probably.
Deadliest catch assholes.
Yeah, the derrick operators in oil, gas, and mining.
Oh yeah, I've seen them whip them chains with that oil pipe thing.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I've seen those videos. I don't get what the hell they're doing. They're whipping
doing some
fucking chains around and shit.
Fucking Ghost Rider on the fucking crew.
Fucking insane. No flames around there though. Garbage collectors.
Oh shit! Fall in, get crushed.
Iron workers.
Okay, up on a rooftop. Click, click, click.
No. This is like iron workers.
I know what an iron worker is. I have one in the family.
Oh, okay. Delivery drivers.
Okay, no. Now we're just getting.
You get shot, man. And you're in your car all the time. Farmers is at number 8, so it wasn't as high as I thought it was.
Well, delivery drivers always park in that center line, and then they try to like fucking run across traffic to deliver a package. Frogger their ass. Yeah, exactly.
Power linemen.
I follow the Amazon trucks and try to hit them. I'm joking. Okay, I'm sorry.
Crossing guards is number 12.
They have a stop sign in their hand. They'll be fine.
Crane operators, construction helpers, landscaping supervisors, not the employee, not the supervisors, okay? Highway maintenance workers, cement masons, small engine mechanics, supervisors.
Small engine?
Yeah, those are the dangerous ones, man.
You underestimate them.
Supervisors of mechanics.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you what I'm talking
Hold
about.
on, I got 5 more. Heavy machine or heavy vehicle mechanics, ground maintenance workers, police officers at 22, Maintenance workers, construction workers, and mining machine operators.
Okay. Are crossing guards a job? I thought that was like a volunteer position.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, maybe they're talking about like the guys who like have the whistle and they're doing all the hand, like when the light goes out and they're doing that thing. Is that a crossing guard?
I don't want to put them on blast, but it says their average salary is $29,000. So I guess it's not volunteer work.
And the sign costs at least 11 grand.
You know, I think part of it maybe, I'm not even sure if this is just in America, because I was going to say, I feel like that's a more common thing you see in like Pacific Islands.
The Pacific Islands?
Isn't that like
Really?
Thailand and shit?
Did you just pick a random place that you'd see crossing guards?
No, I'm saying like I see those crazy videos of like crossing guards and there's like a billion cars and they're all like going all over the place.
Oh yeah, their tuk-tuk situation's like crazy. They have like people like zooming in and out of like that whole traffic situation gives me such bad anxiety when I see one of those videos.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's none of the. I'm like, yeah, so I'm doing crossing guards today.
Might be worth looking into.
I'm gonna talk about the guy who. This is a horrifying story where he didn't know yield from stop. He couldn't read, so he got fucked big time. I'll continue my sentence. That's right, working at a nuclear reactor.
Well, I think part of the problem is there's not many nuclear reactors.
Exactly. It's a niche job. I totally get it, you know. But with the most volatile and most deadly elements known to human form found on this floating rock. Well, today, I want to tell you about a tragedy that happened in the second most popular place for radioactive disasters to happen after Russia. You know it, David? You know it. You got this. I set this one up for you.
Oh, Chernobyl?
No, after Russia. Where do the most nuclear accidents happen?
Oh.
You got this.
America?
One happened in like 2010.
America?
No, it happened in 2010. It like fucked up the water bad and like it was like a nuclear meltdown and
Flint, Michigan.
That was Japan. Okay. Today I bring you to the land of the rising sun, Japan, as we discuss the Tokaimura nuclear accident of 1999. Nuclear, not nuclear, nuclear accident of 1999. Now, you might be wondering, why specify the year? Well, it's because this happened more than once at that facility. Because in 1997, 2 years prior, there was a chain reaction explosion of nuclear waste chemicals that exposed 37 nearby personnel to trace amounts of radiation in what at the time the government's Science and Technology Agency declared the country's worst yet nuclear accident. But like I said, people only had traces of nuclear fallout. And it said management tried to cover it up by making workers falsify documents, but they're ultimately shut down for a while before the government passed a bill that let them open back up after everyone had forgot about the accident with little to no repercussions or new restrictions. Classic government.
Love it.
It's really cool. But this horrible incident, on the other hand, occurred on September 30th of 1999 in the same area, but at a different facility called the JCO facility in Tokai, Japan, which is north of Tokyo, I believe. So the JCO facility, a Japanese nuclear fuel cycle company, converted uranium hexafluoride into enriched uranium dioxide fuel. This served as the first step in producing nuclear reactor fuel rods for Japan's power plants and research reactors. That's that shit that fall in the back of Homer's shirt.
Yeah, Homer J. Simpson.
He brought that.
Hey, homie, you fucking smell like uranium. Homie, hold
Do you
me,
remember it?
homie.
Do you know when he's in the intro and the nuclear rod falls in the back of his shirt?
The baby gets it.
Yeah, I think she like sucking on like a pacifier. It's like real bad.
Yeah. All her
three-eyed
hair
fish.
falls out.
Yeah, three-eyed fish. But that's all the nuclear science I'll put you through today of what they're making there. But it's important to know that they were working with extremely dangerous and highly volatile materials, and that the job requires extreme precision and can be an extreme risk, can impose an extreme risk to technicians, obviously. So facility technicians Hisashi Ouchi, Masato Shinohara, and Yutaka Yokokawa were working at the facility at the time. And as a reminder, this was the first batch of fuel in the fast breeder fast breeder reactor. That was confusing. I understand that. So they're making the first batch of shit in over 3 years in this fast breeder reactor, these 3 dudes. These men had no proper qualifications and were not properly trained, and the process of mixing these chemicals, which the men followed from the facility manual, were not approved by Japan's Science and Technology Agency. So basically, they had a manual from the facility that was like not approved by like the government agency. So, which seems like a somewhat common occurrence in some of these facilities, maybe at least back in 99, because like the guy who gets busted after this was like, yeah, we just like were on a time crunch and we didn't have time to get shit approved, so we just like wrote our own manual and then went ahead with it. And you're like, okay, that's fucking nuts.
It's always a good idea.
So, to add to the negligence of this process, the men were trying to speed up the last few steps of the fuel conversion process to meet shipping requirements by overfilling the vats by over 7 times the legal limit allowed by the STA, but not by the manual. The manual is like, it's fine, just like throw a bunch of shit in there. An account of the incident told later describes 35-year-old Hisashi Ouchi as standing at the tank holding a funnel while co-worker Masato Shinohara poured a mixture of intermediate enriched uranium oxide into the tank from a bucket.
What type of bucket he got?
To try to draw out this picture a large vat on like a stand with like a 6 stair going up to it, and the dude Masato was like pouring it in, and then Hisashi was standing at like the bottom of the stairs holding a funnel, and like it's kind of hard to describe, but he was basically
I'm getting you.
Okay, he was kind of like chest high with this like metal cylinder that they were pouring in, and the other guy was up on the stairs pouring the bucket of shit in there. Yeah. So suddenly they were startled by a flash of blue light, and unbeknownst to them, they had inadvertently triggered what's known in the nuclear industry as a critical accident, a release of radiation from an uncontrolled nuclear chain reaction. The 2 workers quickly left the room, but even so, the damage had already been done. That's the scariest shit to me with all this.
Yeah.
It's just like you can get obliterated by something you don't see, you can't feel. It happens in a millisecond, and you don't even know that you have like a death sentence.
Oh yeah, you're dead before you know it.
It's insane. So Ouchi, who was closest to the reactor, like I said, he had his hands up holding this funnel and was like chest high with like all of the chemicals in this tank, basically. He had received a massive dose of radiation, probably the biggest exposure to radiation in the history of nuclear accidents. Ouchi was exposed to 17 sieverts of radiation. I guess that's a measurement.
Sounds like
of
a
radiation.
lot. Yeah.
For comparison, emergency responders at Chernobyl were exposed to 0.25, which was over double what is seen to be as a lethal dose. And this man got 17.
He didn't turn into the Hulk?
It reminds me of the Family Guy bit where Mayor West jumps over the fence to get superpowers at the nuclear place, and he rolls in the toxic sludge. He goes, And he's at the doctor, and he goes, "So, Doc, what is it? I got superpowers?" And he goes, "You have lymphoma." But here's the thing: this guy,
Peter.
yeah.
Oh, Peter, I left homie. No, oh, Peter. Peter.
Hey, no,
Hey, Marge.
hey, hey, Marge, come sit on my wheelchair. Come sit on my lap, Marge. Hey, Peter, Marge, Homer, let me bang your wife. Okay, wait.
You want to do
Okay,
a role play? I can
so-
be Marge. You can be. What's his
Yes,
name? What's his
Joe Swanson.
Joe.
Go.
I'm joking. We're not doing that. Let's keep going with this.
What? This
No,
is
that's weird.
fuck
People
you.
don't want to listen to that.
That's fan fiction.
That's our
So-
other.
so,
That's our other podcast. We don't talk about that one.
So this after he was at the hospital, he basically, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I don't even put
Okay.
this in the story. It's just something I read. He asked the doctors. He was like, "So like, do I have like a high chance of getting leukemia now?" And like, the narrator who was talking was like, "Yeah, he would not live long enough to even develop any form of leukemia. Like,
He didn't finish his
least of
sentence.
his worries." Exactly.
Yeah.
So after, actually, he's gonna live a little bit longer than you think. So
Huh.
after evacuating, one of the workers that was at the tank began experiencing symptoms of irradiation. The worker passed out, then regained consciousness 70 minutes later. The 3 workers were then transferred to the hospital, who confirmed that they were exposed to high doses of gamma, neutron, and other radiation. In addition to these 3 workers who immediately felt symptoms, 56 people at the JCO plant were reported to have been exposed to the gamma, neutron, and other irradiation. So it's like some guy eating a fucking sandwich in like the break room was like, "Ow, what?
His hair just,
what
all
the
of his hair just fell out.
It's kind of
teeth
comical.
come out.
It's like, yeah. Oh fuck! Oh god! Now I'm just afraid somebody's in like the next room, fucking mixing like radiated chemicals.
Yeah. It is
I don't
LA,
ever
you
wanna
know.
be- I know. You never know what your neighbor's doing. When Ouchi arrived at the hospital, he didn't yet look like a victim of intense radiation exposure. His face was slightly red and swollen, and his eyes were bloodshot, but he didn't have any blisters or burns. Though he complained of pain in his ears and his hand. They're like, "Oh, suck it up, pussy. Get back to the line. You got more radiation to poison yourself with, asshole." So the doctor who examined him even thought that it might be possible to save his life. But within a day, Aochi's condition got worse. He began to require, and I like to say this too before we go any further. I have nothing but like extreme sympathy for this man. Like,
Yeah.
never I would wish this on anybody. I know we're kind of making light of this, but like, this is maybe one of the most horrific like situations I've ever read about or heard, and it's not a laughing matter. If we do laugh, it's about something else. It's not. It's about.
I'm
we're
watching
just-
Family Guy on my other screen in here, so if I
Yeah,
laugh,
I'm
it's 'cause
watching-
I'm watching The Funny Baby and The Talking Dog.
I'm watching Temple Run, and it's just really funny. No, but
Subway Surfer.
you know it. Yeah, exactly. But it's just horrible. So he began to require oxygen, and his abdomen swelled. Things continued downhill after he arrived at the University of Tokyo Hospital. So I think he got switched to a hospital, and they're like, "Oh shit, yeah, we need like better doctors."
My quick question, I don't know if you know the answer to this. So, like, with the doctors treating him, are they in danger of getting radiation poisoning?
I thought the same
does
thing.
it work that way?
No, apparently not. I thought the
Okay.
same thing. I thought like if somebody had radiation hit them, that they were now radioactive.
Yeah.
But Imagine Dragons was fucking wrong. Oh, which he's like, I'm breaking in. Do. I don't know the words. Of
Did
that.
they disappear yet?
No, they're gonna make a resurgence like Nickelback. You just give them time.
Okay.
10 years, everybody's going to be like, we were too hard on them. Watch, I'm calling it right fucking now. Anyway. Oh, Creed is actually making the resurgence. Nickelback's in a few years.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
Creed deserves it.
I agree. I think Nickelback deserves it too. That was one of my first concerts. Not ashamed to say that.
By choice?
Dude, you're going to think I'm the coolest fucking guy in the world in a couple of years. So eat your
Okay.
fucking words, okay?
Okay.
Because we all just want to be big rock stars out eating on the bottom
Where-
bean blonde guard.
Okay, now I gotta know, where did you see them?
Up in Clear Lake, Canocti area, which is like north of my hometown. I went for my friend's birthday. He brought 3 friends, and the
Okay.
whole time we just kept wanting them to sing. They have a song that starts off. It goes, "I like your pants around your feet, burn out, da, da, da." And we didn't. His dad didn't let us play it in the car on the way up. And
Yeah.
we were like hoping that, and it was like one of the last songs. We're like, oh, he's not gonna play it. And I was like, I got another song, and he's like, I like your pants, and we're like, oh!
The dad rushed the stage, unplugged all of the instruments and the microphone.
And started pulling up everyone's pants real high, real high, too high actually.
To the armpits.
Chad Kroger didn't know it hit him. Didn't know what Wedgie did. He got a Melvin that will knock him right into the fucking 8th century. Anyway,
A Melvin? Is that what you call a wedgie?
that's a front wedgie.
Oh, didn't know that.
You learn something new every day. You're not only going to learn about nuclear physicists today, nuclear physics today. You're going to learn about Melvins too.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about Melvins.
You're learning. So, like I said, he began to require oxygen. His abdomen swelled, and things continued downhill until he arrived at the University of Tokyo Hospital. 6 days after the accident, a specialist who looked at images of the chromosomes in Ouchi, I can never pronounce his last name. Ouchi's Ouchi.
Just say it
I
quickly.
I thought it was Ouchi, and I was like, ooh, talk
Ouchi.
about an ouchie.
Yeah.
But it's Ouchi. So he looked at the images of the chromosome in Ouchi's bone marrow cell and saw only scattered black dots, indicating that they were broken into pieces. Ouchi's body wouldn't be able to...
Was he aware
Sorry?
that his entire body was shattered? I feel like he would have known that.
No. Ouchi's body wouldn't be able to generate new cells. His chromosomes, on a molecular level...
Oh, so like his bones blasted.
Yeah, all the shit, in your bone marrow, that basically creates blood cells and white blood cells and building blocks. And it was like somebody went through and fucking cut them all in half with scissors. They were like unproducing. So couldn't generate new cells. A week after the accident, Ouchi received a peripheral blood stem cell transplant from his sister. His sister was the volunteer donor, and the transplant actually seemed to have worked for a short stint as his white blood cell count began to rise. So they're like, this is the first time that had been done, apparently. And they're like, oh shit, like he actually has white blood cells now, and his white blood cells are going up slightly. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. But that wouldn't last long as Ouchi's mucous membrane in his body began to turn white and droop, which meant that he would not be able to retain water or nutrients. So like the white blood cells are basically not able to repair all this damaged tissue, and his body was filled with so much radiation that it was still like, we'll find out that the new white blood cells were still being shattered because his body was so filled with this shit. It wasn't like the initial blast like just decimated his chromosomes. It's like the shit in his body was still attacking these white blood cells,
fighting it, yeah,
breaking it down, yeah. Oof. So he began to complain about and also like his mucous membrane, like they did an endoscopy like down his throat, and they're like, oh my god, the inside of your throat and your stomach lining is all white and drooping, and like you don't have a mucous membrane anymore. It can't hold nutrients. It can't hold water. It's just like failing. So he
Jesus.
began to complain of thirst, and then medical tape was removed from his chest, and his skin started to come off with it because his skin was so fragile, and
The tape
it couldn't.
won.
And he couldn't. Once the skin was gone, he couldn't build new skin cells to replace like scabs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's no like bonding of the skin. The skin wasn't holding together anymore. It was like tissue paper.
Coming untethered.
Yeah. He began developing blisters, and tests showed that the radiation had killed the chromosomes that normally would enable his skin to regenerate, so that his epidermis, the outer layer that protected his body, gradually vanished. Pretty fucking rough. So the pain became intense, and he began experiencing breathing problems as well as fluid began to build up in his lungs. At this point, he was put on a mechanical respirator to help him breathe. But he was still awake and cognizant. He began also to get hostile with the hospital staff, demanding to go home. But they continued to try and save him at the hospital because he didn't know like how bad his situation was. Like I know you asked, did he know like how bad it was? And he was asking like, like am I maybe gonna get leukemia now? They're like, your body's like falling apart.
Like, buddy, you wish you had leukemia at this point.
Yeah, seriously, the only situation where it's like that's an upside apparently.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks after the accident, he was no longer able to eat, and he had to be fed intravenously. Ouchi's gastrointestinal pain got worse as this is nasty, as he secreted 3 liters of diarrhea a day and received sometimes up to 10 blood transfusions a day as well.
Shit.
How much is
Like,
a liter? Oh,
a
2 liter
cola.
bottle of Coke. Yeah. Wait, I thought those are a liter of cola. Wait, you mean a large farva?
I actually watched that movie recently.
Just get a large farva. I don't want a large farva. I want a liter of cola. Forgot about that scene. That was a really funny movie.
Yeah, my wife had
Super
never
Troopers.
seen it, so we sat down. She watched it for the first time. We enjoyed it.
I was gonna say, that seems like a very much of a guy movie. So how did she like it?
I mean, I don't think she absolutely loved it, but she was like, yeah, it was funny. Like, I don't know if she was just being nice, but like, she didn't seem to dislike it.
Brian Cox is in that, right?
Oh yeah, he's the sergeant.
Yeah, he's great. He's great in that.
I do feel like that's a movie where like the beginning is very good and it like the middle is a little slow.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But it's also not a very long movie either.
The middle's packed with like all of the iconic, the schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
No, that's the very beginning.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said the middle.
No, I said the beginning's all packed with like all the iconic. You boys ever been to Mexico?
Yeah, that's
so
gotta be
good.
one of like the best intros to a comedy movie ever.
Really good. He's like, you owe me money for eating all the shrooms. You owe me for that bag. So good. Okay, but yeah, so he had three large farvas of diarrhea.
Oh, it's a lot of large farva.
So, they even tried to give him drugs to numb the pain, but none stayed in his system long due to the diarrhea and intestinal bleeding. Jesus Christ, guy can't even get a high. After most of Ouchi's skin had fallen off, he began to lose fluid rapidly, and they wrapped him in medical gauze to keep his skin in place. But after a few hours, the bandages were completely soaked in fluid and blood.
Dude, I mean, just kill me. Like,
well, there was when I initially heard about this story years ago, I heard about this. The narrative online is that he was begging the doctors to kill him, and the doctors were keeping him alive only to see what would happen if somebody was exposed. Exactly, like unethical testing, basically, and just be like, well, if we kill him, we don't get to see what happens to his body. And I found out that that was not the case. The doctors were under a Hippocratic oath, and he also did not technically want to die because they thought that they might be able to save him, and he thought he might be able to get saved. I mean, he had a family. He had a wife and kid as well. So it's like, you know, you don't want to just be like, yeah, let me out. Let me kill me really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So as we get more gruesome, after his eyelids fell off...
Oh.
After his eyelids fell off, he began to bleed from dryness in his eyes.
Oh, my God.
Also, when he showed up at the hospital initially, I guess he had, like, kind of like, he started, like blood started coming from his eyes or something. I don't know. But at this time, he was given massive doses of narcotics to help him sleep and, you know, to relieve his pain. In a last-ditch effort to buy some time to find a cure, they placed skin grafts all over his body, like lab-grown skin grafts all over his body. But due to major fluid loss, the skin grafts would not take. Like, they just would not stick to him.
Yeah.
All of this blood loss also affected his heart as it began to beat at a rate of 120 beats per minute. And that's the same as a marathon runner.
Jesus.
Like when somebody is running a marathon, that's usually how fast their like heart is going. On the 59th day of his ordeal, Ouchi suffered 3 heart attacks as doctors massaged his heart and resuscitated him each time of the 3 heart attacks.
It's like
since he didn't. Sorry, what?
It's like he's like his body's literally trying to die. They like won't let him die.
Dude, I know. And this next sentence, since he did not have an NDR in place, I mean a DNR, a do not resuscitate in place, they were legally required to bring him back each time. On the 3rd time, his heart steadied, but still at a very fast rate. But due to the 3 heart attacks, his brain and kidneys began to fail, from the damage from the heart attacks. And so, like, he had, like, he stopped responding after that 3rd heart attack due to brain damage. And his, like, renal system, which is kidneys, was not, like, flushing out toxins. So he had to be put on a, what's it called? Dialysis machine, I believe.
Yeah.
And also, just to make matters worse, his immune system began to attack the few white blood cells he had left. So... just to put this in context, making a common cold a death sentence in a matter of hours. So if he got a common cold, he would be dead in hours because he literally had 0 white blood cells to fight any sort of infection or sickness. The doctors finally, all looked at each other and were like, dude.
I just got to say real quick, sorry if you hear barking. I don't know what is going on in the other room, but our puppy is losing it.
Oh, I hear him now. He's barks for Ouchi.
I might have to go check on this real quick. See what the hell's going on. One second.
Okay. Should I just keep talking?
Sure. Hey, I'll keep my headphone in. Yeah.
No. I mean, like, I'm not gonna keep going with the story, but maybe I'll
just stop.
Now that we got Holter figured out, we'll get back to Ouchi.
We figured it out. I don't know if we solved the problem. He'll probably continue to bark. So
we give him a nice big old dose of radiation. He should be feeling it soon.
I took that Simpsons rod and I tossed it in his crate.
He's chewing on that. And why do I give a damn?
I noticed his paws started to go invisible. He turned into an invisible dog.
Oh, he got the super. Yeah, exactly. This guy. You surprised
Origin
that Ouchi
story.
didn't fucking turn into that? Literally the same exact thing happened to the Hulk.
That's what I'm saying, man. Did he not turn to the Hulk?
It's fucked up. So, the doctors like looked at each other and were like, "Dude, we can't. There's nothing we can do for this man anymore. This is like fucked up." So the doctors went to the family and requested a DNR, a do not resuscitate, so he could be put out of his misery if his heart were to stop again. The family agreed and signed the papers. And on December 21st, 1999, 89 days after the horrible accident.
Holy shit. And
89 days.
He couldn't eat like the week after, right?
Yeah, everything was like intravenous, like fluids and food and stuff like that, going straight to his stomach.
So for 82 days, basically.
80, yeah, basically. And so 89 days after the horrible accident, 89 days of agony, Ouchi suffered another heart attack and died. I initially read that the doctors kept him alive for an experiment and he begged to die, but none of that was true. And everybody wanted Ouchi to live, but that just wasn't the case in such a horrific accident. A few months later, in April of 2000, Shinohara, the guy who was pouring the stuff into the funnel, who was like standing above his fellow technician, he died of multiple organ failure a few months later at the age of 40. Yokokawa, the supervisor, who was like in the next room or something, but still like relatively close, he was hospitalized but released after 3 months with minor radiation sickness. So he was still like kind of fine because he was far enough away from this.
Yeah.
The company JCO later paid $121 million to settle 6,875 compensation claims from people and businesses who had suffered from or been exposed to radiation, and also lost its credentials for running nuclear plants. The incident also initiated a series of new legislation in Japan aiming at tightening requirements around operational safety in the nuclear energy industry. But as we all know, that didn't really fucking matter, because in like 2010 there was like another like nuclear meltdown that like leaked into the ocean. Fucking horrible.
Maybe we shouldn't be, messing around with that stuff, but
it's relatively, that's the thing, is like nuclear energy. I actually read into it. Clean. Nuclear energy is it's relatively clean. It's like actually very clean apparently, and it's also like relatively safe if you have the proper protocols. But the problem is, it's just a high risk, high reward situation where it's like if one mess up, whoever's sitting there is going to pay dearly for it.
Yeah.
And there can be like, explode, like we all know about Chernobyl and all that.
Of course,
it's like, it's just a highly volatile substance, but it's a very, I guess like we said, clean and profitable form of energy. So I don't know if they figure out how to really contain it under all circumstances, then, maybe wind, water, and
earth,
radiation,
fire,
nuclear energy. Yeah, exactly. Nuclear energy will be the way. I just saw this thing that was like a buoy that like goes up and down when the waves come.
Very
and
cool.
I don't know how much energy it actually creates. Probably not enough, but that would be a fucking really cool.
I saw a stat. It seemed like a singular one would power quite a bit.
Yeah, you just need something with like perpetual motion, and as we all know, the motion of the ocean is always going. So that would be a very cool and safer way and more natural way to get that energy. So maybe that's in the future as well. But we'll read about that story when some guy fucking gets caught underneath that and bopped on the head 40,000 times until he dies.
Turn to mush.
He just got mashed potatoed and nothing. Anyway,
that man got turned into baked beans and mashed potato.
He died for a good cause, for dinner. Anyway, so that's he died with the Bush's baked beans recipe in his head. So he died like a hero. He didn't give any information to the Nazis about the baked beans.
I think if I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna request that Bush Baked Beans sends a representative out to tell me the secret family recipe, just so I can die with it.
How funny would it be? That's a great idea, by the way. And how funny would it be if they just made a commercial where it's like black and white, and the Nazis have somebody tied to a chair, and they're like, "Give us the secret formula," and they cut to it, and it's just Duke sitting there in like a fucking U.S. uniform, like tied to a chair.
So you're proposing that Bush Baked Beans makes a commercial with Nazis in it?
Well, yeah, but they're interrogating a dog for the secret bean formula.
Okay.
I'm just saying, hit me up.
That's a good sell.
It's a really good commercial. Yeah, I know.
All right, Tobin. All right.
That's it. Yeah.
This week, I want to talk about one of the most feared and dominant athletes who has ever competed in the history of sports.
Honus Wagner.
Honus Wagner. Is that a real person?
Yeah, that's the most expensive baseball card in the world.
Really?
Yeah, they sold them in like tobacco packs back in like the 20s or something like that. So,
And they're rare?
yeah, it's because like there was like only like 10 of them made or something like that. So they're only rare not because Honus was like the best baseball player, but because there's such a limited amount and like a
Because
limited.
he's so bad.
Yeah, only this company made like. Yeah, basically. I mean, they all just like fucking were fat, overweight 45-year-olds like who chain smoked cigarettes and ate ham for every meal.
Yeah. So this man never saw a thing he didn't think he could defeat or an ear he couldn't eat.
Oh, Mikey.
That's right. Today I'm going to talk about some of the wildest stories and antics from the one and only Mike Tyson.
I hope you're going to read some quotes.
No, I left some. A lot of the quotes I saw were ones that I would not repeat.
Oh, why not, David?
Like the one when the guy yelled, "He belongs in a straitjacket."
I'm gonna blank you in the blank till you love me.
He might have said that on that one, but there was a lot of, that one word that starts with an F and ends with a T. There's two G's in there.
Yeah.
He says that word a lot.
It's not the
one.
fuck word. It's the other one.
No, yeah. So Michael Gerald, there's no L in there. Tyson was born June 30th, 1966 in the great Brooklyn, New York. Nicknamed Iron Mike and the Kid Dynamite in his youth, the boxer would also gain high recognition. The boxer would also gain high recognition for his brutality in the ring and earn the nickname the baddest man on the planet. Mike Tyson was and still is considered one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time, as he reigned as the undisputed world heavyweight champion from 1987 to 1990. Mike was terrifying in the ring, with probably some of the hardest hitting you would ever see. Like going back and watching some of those old videos, It's like terrifying.
I've been down that rabbit hole of watching him knock people out, and you're just like, holy shit! Like
it's
he was
insane.
He's a front loader. He's a I want to like get the knockout in the beginning. He's a sprinter. Let's just say that he's not a long distance runner. He was just like showing up and throwing big haymakers, and
he's the exact opposite of Mayweather.
Oh yeah, was he like a long game guy?
Yeah, I mean he rarely went for knockouts. He would just evade and like run the score.
Oh
up.
yeah, that's right. He would kind of try to go to decision and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it was like to the extent that like the way he punched does not look human. It's just like it's insane.
It's like a fucking cannonball.
Yeah. In the start of his career, Mike would start with winning his first 19 matches, weird typing. He would win his first 19.
He has concussion from getting punched by Mike Tyson.
Yeah, too much like research. I got knocked out. He would win his first 19 matches. Win his first 19 matches by knockout, 12 of the 19 being knockouts in the first round, which is insane.
Oh my God.
And at the age of 20 years, 4 months, and 22 days, Mike won his first belt. And to this day, he remains the youngest person in history to do that.
It's like some people, obviously Mike Tyson was like he trained like crazy, and like he was very disciplined. I mean, I watched the little thing of him being like,
he's not very disciplined, but yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe for boxing, he's no Dennis Rodman, but
Sure.
But
he was more disciplined in his training than he was in the ring, I think.
Oh yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like he would train a shit ton. But I saw an interview where he's like, "Well, that's all I know. I don't know nothing else. I sometimes feel small because I'm not a warrior no more. I studied these guys. I'm a warrior." And he's like getting emotional, and you're like, "Okay, calm down."
You're scaring me, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm afraid you're gonna like go ballistic in a second and like rip my head off. But he was like a freak. He was like a physical freak. And there's some people that are just like they were born with a special ability.
100%.
Not saying he didn't hone that into something even greater, but like have you seen 20-year-olds? Like
yeah, I was like 115 pounds when I was 20.
Yeah, I mean, he was a heavyweight too. He's a heavyweight.
He's a big dude.
Dude, he's crazy. I'm gonna go watch after this. I'm gonna go watch like a 20-year-old. I'm gonna watch that fight where he wins the belt because I'm really curious on like what he actually looked like then.
He's built like a shit brick house.
Seriously.
So Mike's success would continue to skyrocket until 1990 when Mike Tyson was knocked out by underdog Buster Douglas in one of the biggest upset victories in boxing history. So I've never seen that. Like, I'm not a huge boxing person. Like, I know a bit about it, but like I'm not pay-per-viewing stuff or anything like that.
Especially in the 90s. Well, that's when boxing was like
king.
At its peak.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of king,
It's a
that's
fucking
when they had
joke now. Don King.
They had I know now it's kind of a sideshow a little bit, but what's it? They had Don King. Only in
I just
America.
said that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, they said boxing was king.
I did, and then I said Don King when you.
I said speaking of. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
Fuck.
So
God,
that's
fucking
just,
damn it.
You're an idiot. Now who's gotten hit in the head?
No, you
so
bit my
that's,
ear off. I can't hear shit.
Spoilers, man. So that's a
No
little,
one knows.
So that's a little bit of backstory. It'd be hard to believe if any adult listening to this podcast doesn't know who Mike Tyson is, due to his fame outside of the sport, appearing in other things like The Hangover, The Hangover 2. I don't think he was in the third one. Webster. He was in Webster, and his very own cartoon.
Oh, that little guy.
Oh, that little guy, yeah. He even had his own cartoon called Mike Tyson Mysteries. And,
Where did ear go? Where did fucking ear go?
Have you seen that show?
No.
I hadn't either. And this is the part where I read word for word the synopsis from of his cartoon straight from IMDb. So these are not my words. This is what they officially released as how they wanted to describe the show. In this macabre comedy, retired boxing champion Mike Tyson, his brainy adopted Asian American daughter, a friendly but wimpy gay gentleman ghost, and a cursed, perverse, mean-spirited talking pigeon solve weird mysteries together.
Is this an Adult Swim show?
It has to be, yeah.
That seems like actually a fantastic show. I'm here for it.
All right.
And I'd like to say one more thing.
Yes.
I don't want to. I had, you said I'm surprised if somebody doesn't know who Mike Tyson is. I had an ex a long time ago who didn't know who Mike Tyson or Hulk Hogan was.
That's
insane.
You're dating too young, buddy.
I was young. Fuck you. We're the same age.
No, we are not.
Not us. I'm not dating. I'm done with you.
This is why our relationship didn't work out. You're too young.
Not we are the same age. The person I was dating at the time, you dickhead.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the wildest stories Mike has to offer to this day, because I know he's not done. We can start this list-like story with one of the more noticeable features of Mike Tyson in the recent years, and that would be his bizarre and brash face tattoo.
That's right.
This tattoo came in much further down in the line of his fame, so when Mike showed up in public with a tribal tattoo covering a side of his face in 2003, people were very shocked. Like, it was big news when this happened.
Was that 03?
Yeah.
Wow.
But you also have to remember, like, he was boxing in the 80s too, so, like,
No, I just thought it was like more recent than that for some reason.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 years after 9/11, man.
That's my barometer too for everything. I'm like, they're like, second fun fact: Mike Tyson caused. No, I'm joking. I'm not saying that on record.
Yeah, people were very surprised by it. The tattoo quickly became a centerpiece to his image, leading to continuous and countless spoofs and jokes where the whole joke is someone having the same tattoo. Yeah.
Hangover.
Not that funny the 50th time you see it, you know.
Yeah.
But that won't stop writers from thinking it's hilarious to see grandma with it. But
Okay, that is pretty funny. I have to say, see grandma with that would be very funny.
Mima, what are you doing? But what the story behind the tattoo? The stories behind the tattoo.
Mike
that,
Ma.
But what? Okay, sorry, very distracting right now. But what is these? What? But what the story behind?
Oh, he's got the CT. Mike shouldn't have hit him so hard.
Collecting myself.
Oh no. He's struggling. He can't go all the rounds either. He's a front guy.
Yeah, I'm a front guy. But what's the story behind the tattoo? No one does that to themselves without a reason, right? Well,
Yeah.
did you know? Do you like know the story behind the tattoo?
Did he have like vitiligo or something?
What the fuck is that? Is that a type of cheese?
That's what they say. Like that's what like. That's why they said like Michael Jackson bleached his skin was because he had vitiligo, which started turning his pigment. Like,
is that how you pronounce that? That's a word I've only seen like written. I've never heard anybody say it.
Yeah, I believe it's called vitiligo. It's like what Winnie Harlow that model has, and
Yeah.
that's what they said that's why Michael Jackson dyed his skin or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know if that's true, but
No, the tattoo had nothing to do with that. So Mike had admitted in an interview that the tattoo wasn't entirely his idea. Mike Tyson had another idea in mind, and that was that originally Mike wanted to cover the side of his face with several heart tattoos so he could become known as the Man of Hearts.
I would have stuck with Iron Mike.
Yeah, who fucking knows what that means?
I think he probably wanted to like change his image because he felt like he's, we saw those old interviews where the shit he said where he's like, how do I rebrand myself into like a nice guy?
It's not with face tattoos, Mike. It's not with face tattoos.
It does get people's attention.
So
He also had a one-man show or some shit like that, but
yeah. So according to Mike, his tattoo artist convinced him to change his mind and go for something more intimidating to match his legendary personality. Which I've watched enough Ink Master, and I have lived Mas enough to know that is a bad move by a tattoo artist. Would tattoo artists try to convince people to do something completely different? Like, yeah, it's not a good move.
But do you want to be the tattoo artist who gave Mike Tyson hearts on his face?
I mean, he's paying me.
Yeah,
it's his
I know,
body,
but
his
like,
choice,
Oh, now you're gonna make me sound like a fucking staunch conservative right now.
I
I
think
guess
so,
it is.
man. Yeah.
On with the show. Give him the hearts.
So, much like his face tattoo, this next little tidbit comes from him in his later years, where the Mike Tyson that we know today is a bit more relaxed and more lovable than he used to be. And this could be part in fact that he has left one powdery white drug behind and now enjoys a sticky green one. The guy is a big ripper now, big chiefer, and Mike
He probably watches Queer Eye too when he gets too high.
Probably. And Mike has loved his
with the department. I love what they do with the department. Bobby just killed it with the department.
So Mike has loved his life on marijuana so much that he threw his hat into the cannabis market. Mike decided to combine two of his favorite things into one product, which is weed and making lots of money. Reports have been made that Mike is currently growing and building a 418-acre weed-themed holiday resort, which he calls a Wonderland of Weed. And that will include the world's longest lazy river, which, I don't know about you, but I love a good lazy river.
Me too. And high in that sounds even cooler.
I don't know what that means, but I'm just saying I like floating around in a little inner tube.
What the fuck do you mean you don't know what that means?
I don't know, man. I got nothing. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what high means.
I don't know what that is. Now I'm writing this down, hoping that Tobin. I'm writing this down, hoping that Tobin has not spoiled my personal favorite part of this whole story, which he hasn't. And I'm reading this out loud, so Tobin, if you haven't, hold back now, because I'm going to talk about a topic that isn't my favorite part, but is closely related to my favorite part. So don't make a reference to another story that's similar to this story. I'm going to edit it out in post.
I'm going to zip it. I'm going to keep it shut.
Yeah. So during an interview, oh wait, no, I skipped the whole paragraph.
Oh,
anyways,
you did it for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyways, our man Mike.
Oh my God.
What the hell did I type here?
What the hell did I copy and paste in this bitch?
No, I definitely typed this because it's gibberish. So our man Mike developed an interesting obsession with wanting to fight outside the species pool, and got a craving to fight with with all the world's deadliest predators. During an interview about Mike's life, Mike decided with the cameras rolling, it would be a good time to stop the interview and wrestle his rare white Bengal tiger into submission on his home's tennis court. If you haven't pieced it together yet, Mike Tyson is a unique and interesting man, and large wild animals are not the only thing Mike likes to wrestle with, which was probably the worst thing I could have typed leading into the next sentence. So let's just take a break right there to talk about the fact that he was in mid-interview and he stopped to go wrestle a white Bengal tiger. You know,
Was this Coke days?
I mean, you would think so.
Yeah, probably.
Had to.
Yeah, come on. But also, when I got the cameras on me, I'll ham it up. I'll wrestle a tiger.
Well, I mean, it's probably drugged out of its fucking mind, anyways.
Yeah, but I don't even need to be drugged out of my mind to fucking get in the ring. I'm like, is this good?
No, I'm
gonna
not
get good
talking
footage.
about him. I'm talking about the tiger.
I know. I'm just saying that I would wrestle a tiger, and I wouldn't need drugs, and it wouldn't need drugs, and I'd still win. I'm telling you right now, I want the belt. I'm fucking looking at you, tiger.
So, ignore that one sentence I read, because in hindsight, the beginning of this next part makes that sound like a really bad joke, when later on it was a joke, but it's like really bad now. So, in 1993, Mike was convicted of rape and spent some time behind bars.
Was this the funny thing you wanted to bring up?
No. And I know this takes a bit of a turn, but during his prison sentence, Tyson ended up getting a prison official pregnant.
What?
Yeah. So in Mike's autobiography, he states that the prison official and him were having sex a minimum of 3 times a day.
Stop.
While he was in prison.
Stop.
And it's like it's not funny, but it's just insane. That's like, oh, this guy's in here for rape. I'm gonna have sex with this guy at least 3 times a day.
Wait, is that the similar story that you were talking about from the tiger?
No, I saved that for the fight towards the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. but
I was like,
I had
I'm like, did
I
he
had-
impregnate the tiger?
I made a joke about him liking to wrestle wild things, and I was trying to more aim that at the prison guard, not the thing that got him in prison. And yeah, that didn't pan out.
Yep,
That
I
didn't
see.
pan out.
I see.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay. I forgive you.
Yeah, so to clear up any confusion, the prison guard official was consenting to it. Like, it was not the rape that I was talking about. That got him in jail. Then this prison guard or official, whatever it was,
I think that's
down to clown.
I think that's pretty well known. If you're in prison and you're doing it 3 times a day, you can't really do it 3 times a day, multiple days, if you're trying to force somebody into it and you're in prison and they're a guard.
And we'll talk about Mike Tyson, but
That guy, wow.
yeah. Okay, so back to some of the lighter stories. I mean, in a sense, none of these are really that light, but lighter. Another commonly well-known fact about Mike Tyson is his love for pigeons.
Yeah, Kith.
Yeah, he loved to kiss the bird. So from an early age, growing up in Brooklyn, Mike became fascinated with the New York pigeons. And he loved to watch them like every day, eventually becoming a owner of many. And one day, early on, his favorite pigeon met its fate and passed away.
No.
Now, this part of the story is confusing because I don't really know how this happened, but somehow it ended up with the garbage man picking up Mike's dead beloved pigeon and attempting to throw it in the trash compactor. And this is when Iron Mike, the baddest man on the planet, knocked the unsuspecting garbage man completely out for disrespecting his dead bird.
I guess being a garbage man is one of the most dangerous jobs.
See? There you go.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, dead pigeon collector. That's also one of the most dangerous jobs.
Yeah, very popular in New York. I can't tell you my time I've spent in New York, how many times I just see a pigeon completely flattened in the street.
Oh, stop. I saw a dead rat get run over in downtown LA and it popped really fucking loud. It was the worst thing I've ever fucking seen. It was the worst fucking thing.
You get sprayed?
No, I just heard the pop.
I almost got in a fight in New York.
It was dead. It was already dead, but
I almost got in a fight in New York because my buddy and I, after having some drinks, we were walking to another bar and there was like a little baby rat running around, and some guy in a business suit was trying to stomp it.
Oh, you told me about this, yeah.
Yeah, so my buddy and I were like, shoved him. We're like, dude, like, fuck you, man. It's a baby. And the guy got all mad. In hindsight, it was a rat.
That rat grew up to launder the most money in New York City's history.
It was Biggie Cheese.
About Biggie Cheese. Gunned down on Broadway.
I guess we just, prolonged the inevitable.
I guess.
So now this is my favorite Mike Tyson story right here.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Yeah, probably. Mike Tyson was visiting a zoo when he spotted a gorilla being a bully in the exhibit. The gorilla was attacking the other apes and just being a real dick. And Mike didn't like this. He was not happy that there's a bully out there. And Mike wanted to stop it personally. So Mike Tyson then found a zookeeper and offered the man $10,000 to let Mike go into the gorilla cage so he could beat the shit out of the gorilla.
I did not know about this story, but I just knew that there was going to be, right when you said tiger, I was like, there's going to be a monkey story involved. I fucking know it. And a gorilla just seems like it's a good match. So
you didn't know that he offered a zookeeper $10,000 to be let into a zoo cage to fight
I had no idea. An orangutan might be a worthy opponent. It's got reach, but gorillas are fucking scary.
Yeah. The zookeeper, just being a real dick, turned down the offer.
Asshole.
Now, I mean, obviously, the smallest gorilla on Earth could rip the average man in half. But if there was ever human, if I ever had the bet on a human that'd be able to beat up a gorilla in a fight, it would be prime Mike Tyson.
I think he would put up a good fight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do I think he would win? Probably not. But if I was forced to bet on a person, I would say Mike Tyson.
Well, I was gonna say, what's a win? Like, is this gorilla gonna actually
the gorilla
fight?
out? If he gets one good hit on the jaw, he can knock a gorilla out. I don't know how their bodies work.
You wanna find out, bud? I'll give you. I got $10,000 in a.
Well, you also have to remember that he was absolutely on cocaine at the time.
Yeah.
So that evens the playing field, in my opinion.
A little bit, because I was just thinking, if he actually realistically went in there, and the only win that you could actually win, I don't think is knocking out a gorilla, because I've seen a gorilla get hit by another gorilla and it's fine. But I think he could punch the gorilla, and the gorilla would run away.
That's fair.
That's the only winnable scenario. If the gorilla becomes aggressive, he's completely fucked.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Now we all know, and we can't talk about Iron Mike without talking about one of the most undisputedly iconic moments in sports history, like ever.
Yep.
And that would be the bite.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Tyson was facing off against Evander Holyfield, another boxing legend, in what was considered one of the most anticipated fights in the history of boxing. Heading into the fight, Mike had a 5-1 favor over Holyfield. And Tyson came in hot to start it. He basically sprinted at him and was throwing big punches. I think he landed his first punch, pretty big one. The fight was close, and after the second round, the two fighters went to their corners. But when Mike walked from his corner entering the third round, people noticed he was missing his mouth guard. The ref was one of these people who noticed and ordered Mike back to his corner to replace it. The fight continued, and when the clock hit in the last 40 seconds of the third round, Holyfield got Tyson in a clinch, which, if you've ever watched boxing, when the two people kind of like come together and they're kind of holding each other, yeah, it's kind of like a hug. That's called a clinch. And which I didn't know that was the official term for that until typing this up. That's how little I know. So Holyfield got Tyson in a clinch, and Tyson rolled his head above Holyfield's shoulder and took a chomp. Holyfield immediately jumps and reacts as Mike spits out a bloody chunk of Evander Holyfield's right ear, the top of his ear.
Top of his ear, yeah.
Yeah. Amazingly, which I didn't know this, to be honest, after much, research, looking in, talking to the guys, officials decided that Holyfield was good to go, and they continued fighting.
What?
I thought the match was done after the bite. And they kept fighting.
Why is that allowed? What?
Yeah.
Not immediate disqualification?
Not immediate disqualifications.
I think there's too much money. I think there's too much money involved.
Way too much. Officials decided that Holyfield was good to go and continue the fight, handing Tyson a 2-point deduction from his score for intentional injuring.
Oh my God, that is so fucking corrupt. It's insane.
And if you did know they kept fighting, another thing people might know about this famous event was later on in the fight, when the two boxers ended up in another clinch, Tyson went back for another snack, and this time he tried biting the top of his left ear off.
What?
And knowing his secret attack, Holyfield realized what was going on, and this time around, and got out of it, only leaving a scar of a bite, not losing the top of his ear. So Holyfield has a scar on top of his left ear.
What the fuck? That's like horrible. I cannot believe that they just allowed that shit.
Yeah, so once they realized that he went in for another bite, they called a stoppage. Both fighters went to their corner. The fight was stopped for a few minutes, but that didn't stop Tyson as he rampaged his way over to Holyfield's corner, attacking Holyfield and his trainer. At this point, referee Lane decided it was enough and disqualified Mike Tyson from the fight, leading to Holyfield's victory.
He tried to fight the trainer too?
Yeah. And at the end of after the fight, like in the interviews, Evander Holyfield said like, "Oh, it's nothing personal, like, you know, we're just fighting." Like he didn't hold a grudge for it at all.
Class act.
And one of the most incredible parts of the story is many years down the line, after the two men had retired from the sport, they became very close friends.
What?
Yeah. Can you imagine being like friends with someone who you bit half their ear off? Like
We're gonna test that.
Yeah.
We're gonna see if you could still be friends with me after I fucking visit you next time.
Go for the lobes, man. So
Those are
today,
those are the juiciest parts.
dude, I had no idea he went for the other ear.
I didn't know he attacked the trainer too.
Yeah.
He must have been on coke. He must have been on coke.
Had to have been.
Yeah.
So today, Mike's name started to gain traction again as he is slated to come out of retirement to fight again at the age of 57 years old.
Yeah.
Mike will be fighting internet loser Jake Paul on July 20th this year, which will be streaming on Netflix, which is interesting. Yeah, so it's not a pay-per-view. It's going to be on Netflix. And I'm almost curious if Netflix is going to be like, "Oh, would you like to add a $20 fee to your subscription this month to watch it?" Or if it's going to be included, like how they're going to do that.
I think it's going to be one of those things where they're just like, Netflix has so much money that they're just like, let's see how many subscribers stick to Netflix after we do this. And like, I think this is probably their first
big live event.
Yeah, I was going to say like they did another live. Didn't they do like some kind of like reality show? I think Love is Blind. They did
it was a total disaster.
Yeah, they fucked up big time.
My wife loves that show. And I'm going to be fair. I'll be honest, it's a little addicting.
I've never seen
it. It took her a while to convince me to like sit down and like watch it. Like I would sit down with her and I'd be on my phone the whole time, but like I actually like sat down and like paid attention to it.
A relationship is every guy getting sucked into a shitty reality show and every woman having to watch The Lord of the Rings.
True. I'm not going to argue that, but I get why it's popular. It's a hilarious concept.
Yeah. I don't know the concept, but we don't have to go into it right now.
Oh, it's very simple. So there's basically these
blind people.
Well, there's like private rooms that have a microphone and a speaker attached.
They talk.
And so they talk back and forth, and so they never see each other. And then when they make a connection, they basically like propose.
Oh my God, no!
So you're marrying someone you've never seen. You just know basically from talking on the phone. Yeah.
Oh,
and
no.
it's God, I feel like the success rate in that show has got to be like 0.5.
That marriage shit is like crazy. Even at the end of The Bachelor, they're like, the show ends with marriage or a proposal. I'm like, what? Huh?
Yeah. Well, and then that's how that show goes. Is you get to the end and it's like
you need a climax.
This is the worst part. Is they do a wedding and they invite all of their family to this place, and then some dude will just be like, "Nah, I can't do it."
Oh.
Like everybody's family's there.
Dude, I can't do that shit. Like, I cannot watch that shit. You know, some people are like, I can't watch The Office. Michael Scott is too cringe. Like, that shit, when there's, like, somebody's, like, rejected live on, like, a reality show, that shit hurts me so much. I'm like, I cannot watch this at all. It's so
good.
Awkward. I'm like,
I love it. I love it. No, I will say I'm all aboard when it comes to Love is Blind.
Okay. This show is not brought to you by Netflix, Jake Paul,
No.
Mike Tyson, or Love Is Blind.
If I had to make a prediction on how the upcoming fight is going to go, it's going to be boring. It's going to end in a draw, and both fighters will walk out of the stadium a few $1 million richer.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Mayweather. Because Jake? It's Jake, not Logan, right? It's
Logan
Jake?
Paul, I think, boxed Mayweather. I think.
Okay.
But
I
there's
can't
like
keep
a
those two
huge size
dipshits.
difference in there.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just like it's kind of embarrassing for the sport how it's turned into like
It's a side
YouTubers, and it's just like, oh, we can make a lot of money to just kind of half-ass this, and then as long as we have it fixed so like we don't knock each other out and we both win and we both make a bunch of money, like it's like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
It's free
100%.
money.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
free real estate.
I'm going to watch it. Wait, what did you just say?
It's free real
estate. Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it. Like, who's not going to watch that if they have Netflix?
Yeah.
Like, of course. But
Yeah. I mean, if I'm sitting at home, I got nothing going on, pop it on.
I have to say this. Even though I do think it's like kind of disrespectful to the boxing world, it's like I'm not gonna watch boxing if it's just two normal fighters. You know what I mean?
Oh God,
Like,
I'm not just flipping through the channel. I'm like, it's Smith and Jones fighting. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll only watch a fight if it's like a high profile person that I know
Yeah.
versus another high profile person that I know. They don't even have to be good. I just want to see them fight each other. That's
Yeah.
all I care about. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe it's the future of boxing. Maybe it's tarnishing the sport. But
I
the
think
one thing
I
you
think
can't
USC
say is
killed him.
what?
I think USC became too popular and people kind of stopped watching boxing.
Oh yeah, UFC. Yeah, exactly. Because more people get knocked out. Boxing is not that exciting. It's like you said. What?
What were you saying?
I think boxing just lasts too long. They usually end in like a decision, and I'm like UFC for the most part is like somebody could get kicked in the head or like choked out or submission. It's all that shit.
I have a terrible track record with UFC.
Why?
I'm saying that right? UFC.
Yeah. Ultimate
Yeah.
Fighting Championship.
Anytime I've ever been invited to like oh, we're gonna like order the pay-per-view or anything like that, like it's happened like 4 times that I've gone somewhere and like I'm not interested, but like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with people and we'll watch it. Every time I sit down and watch UFC, someone just horrifically snaps a leg in half every time.
Yeah, I've seen
Like
that a
I've
lot.
never seen it go to decision. It's always like, oh, like their legs in 3 pieces.
Or
And I
like,
was like-
I think I also saw one other time. Yeah, I saw Anderson Silva's leg get snapped in half. But I also saw like when John Jones won a fight, and then like mid interview he looked down at his foot because the interviewer's like, "Oh, your toe," and he's like, "Oh," and like looks down and his toe is just like facing the opposite way, like
It was gone.
horribly broke his toe basically, and he's like, "Oh
Just
my
wasn't there.
God," and like it was a genuine yeah, exactly. It almost wasn't. It's crazy. It's such a funny reaction. You could type it on YouTube and be like John Jones toe, and he's talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, like I won. I'm so excited." And he's like, "Oh, your toe," and he's like, "Oh no," and it's like such a genuine reaction. And I think he like lays down on the floor and puts his hands over his face. It's like he's like, "Oh fuck," but
That's good. Love
Yeah.
that.
adrenaline, baby.
Good for him.
Anyway, is that the Tyson?
Oh, that's it. I mean, there's so much about Mike Tyson, but so much of it is things that I don't want to like. Things I don't want to say. Like you were saying earlier,
Yeah.
like his quotes.
Mhm.
Like, what was that? I feel like that one. He got in a fight in like the pre-fight like face-off thing, and someone the fan was like, he belongs in a straitjacket, and he repeatedly calls him the F slur.
Mhm.
And then what does he say? Like, I'll eat
He
your
said, like,
ass
I'm
until you
gonna
love
eat-
me.
He's what?
He said, "You're gonna eat my ass until you love me," or
I
something
think
like
he's
that.
I'm gonna fuck you in the ass until you love me. And then he told somebody else like he's gonna eat their children or something like that. great shit talker.
Yeah, just a
And
lunatic.
I believe it. I think, and there's also that picture of him like with that little kid like crawling away from him and like the back of his shirt in his mouth. It's like a joke picture. He's like at an autograph signing table. You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Post that. That's a good picture to post on Instagram.
No, I've already got my photo. I've already got my idea lined up.
Okay, we'll be waiting. But anyway, that leads us into. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love telling you stories, and we love when you stick around. If you guys want any more information, go to Camp Strange Podcast on Instagram.com. And if you guys want to send us anything, campstrangepodcast@gmail.com, at Instagram.com, whatever. And merch is in the link in the bio. Share it with a friend. Review, subscribe. Bullshit. Whatever. Who
gives
cares?
a fuck? Yeah, you guys
Throw me in
don't
the
care.
trash. When I die,
If you guys cared, go back a few episodes and just skip to the end.
Yeah.
Go listen to it there.
Yeah. Do that. Fuck it. David, do you have anything to say before we officially get the hell out of here?
I don't care.
No, I don't care either. And don't forget to not care and stay strange.